welcome to AWTC Presents HERstory. I'm your host, Cecilia Sapp. I'm a member of AWTC, and I'm currently serving on the AWTC Marketing Committee. This series, HERstory, features our AWTC members and lets people get to know a little about them and our organization. This episode, we're featuring Nikki Beidler, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and what she does within the association community. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you, Cecilia. Nice to be here.
Well, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us where you work and what you do there?
Sure. My name is Nikki Beidler. I'm the Director of E-commerce and Marketing Technology at the American Speech, Language, and Hearing Association. Basically, I manage ASHA's e-commerce store, and that entails helping to integrate any new type of technology, whether that be a new sales tax software, new subscription growth platform. So in addition to that, I work with other enterprise-wide teams at ASHA implementing and managing digital media campaigns for ASHA's programs and products.
Wow, that sounds like a big job.
I just said I wear many hats.
You do wear many hats, and I think many people in associations do that.
Yes.
So, well, speaking of that and the many hats we wear in the association community, how did you get started working with associations?
Sure. Well, I was in for-profit from the start of my career out of college, and then until I came to ASHA. So prior to ASHA, I remember feeling exhausted, unfulfilled, even overworked, and I realized that I needed a change, and I started looking for a job. We moved from out west to Midwest to East Coast, and I wanted something. I knew I wanted something more. Something that I could feel, good about, but something that I could still use my marketing and sales skills. And I found the job online, and I read the description and read about ASHA, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is me. This is what I want. I want a work-life balance. I want something that I can feel good about marketing. It's not just a product, to bring in revenue, and the most revenue you can bring in. And so that's how actually I got started in associations. It was just landing on this job that came in front of me that I wanted something, like I said, just gave me more fulfillment than a for-profit job.
Well, were you familiar with what associations were when you applied for that job?
I was not. I am from Pennsylvania, but I moved out west out of college, and I had no clue about associations. I didn't even know the difference between 501c3 and 501c6. So this was all very new to me when I joined ASHA.
And I think that is a very similar experience to many of us. I don't think many of us who end up in association work started out saying that's what I'm going to do. So that's a great journey though, and that you found a job that you really felt good about. So speaking of that, can you tell us about a time that you felt really good about your work?
There really hasn't been a certain set, what I would say, time that I felt really good. I mean, honestly, every day I actually feel good. I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but I really do. I mean, I find fulfillment, in knowing that I'm contributing to a meaningful cause, rather than focusing, like I mentioned earlier, solely on meeting like sales targets, for a for-profit company. I always say that when I started at ASHA, I had a smile on my face, and nearly 13 years later, I still have that same smile on my face when I leave for the day. It's just something that about associations that you're doing good, and you're still utilizing a lot of your marketing skills and the skills that you have or that I have, and it's just fulfilling.
That's great to hear. That's why I like working in associations and, broadly in nonprofit management, because you do feel good about the work.
Yeah.
So as you're going along, you're a woman in tech. You described what you do. You work with a lot of different tech pieces in the tech stack. So what advice helped you in your journey as a woman in tech?
As I continued through marketing, and then it changed into a lot of marketing and technology, what I felt was the best piece of advice is build a support network. Surround yourself with mentors, peers, and allies, who support and advocate for you. But seek out communities of women in tech where you can share your experiences and learn from others. I feel it's really important because you can be siloed in your position and just constantly moving and growing. You can definitely do continuing education and such, but you will only grow, I feel like, so far if you don't have a network to help support you and guide you, and you learn so much from integrating and talking with others. So this will also help. I found for me it also helped with having confidence in my abilities and learning from others. You sort of keep that imposter syndrome out of your way. Because when you talk with other people, like I said, you do learn a lot from others and what they're doing and how they're changing things within their technology, or how they're moving forward within their association that also might help you in your current situation.
Yeah. Oh, well said. Well said. Good advice about networks too. So as you're looking ahead, you had a long career already in associations. So where do you see technology leading the association community in the future?
Yeah, it's a big question. I know technology is going to be an increasingly central role in associations. I see one area that technology will help is enhancing member engagement, and creating personalized member experiences, either through, AI driven recommendations or even content, tailored content delivery. Another area is data driven decision making. I mean, using analytics to gain, deeper understanding into, member behaviors, preferences. All of these will help to inform, strategic decisions with any kind of membership offerings or events or products, how we move forward. I see technology empowering associations, honestly, to evolve and adapt to changing member expectations. Constant change is going on, and members are consumers, right? So they're familiar with everything outside of associations, and they have high expectations. And so I think technology will ultimately enhance, our relevance, our associations in an increasingly digital world. I mean, it's definitely going to push us to meet members where they're at.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. That's a great assessment of where we're heading. So what do you like best about AWTC?
Well, I have two. The first one is, I would say, community. I met a lot of great women after attending my first AWTC event, and I continue to do so every time. Either I'm on the marketing committee as well and participate as a volunteer. And the more I get involved, the more people I get to know. And with this additional network, I know I can contact any one of the people I meet, any one of these women, and at any point for advice, as we have this sort of like sense of connection. I feel like once you're in, it just is this, I don't know, you feel comfortable with everyone that's involved. The second one is acceptance. I think that's hard as you join a new group of sort of like-minded people. You feel like, oh, I don't know if I will be accepted. I don't know about my background or my level of experience. And AWTC, welcomes women at all stages of their careers and their experiences. So whether they're just starting out or have been involved in associations for years, or whether you have minimal or extensive experience with technology, they are very accepting. And it was just like, it felt like home when I, came into one of the events. So I just felt sort of at peace here.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's the kind of experience that a lot of people can have with AWTC. I know that too, being a somewhat newer member of AWTC. So as we wrap up our conversation, Nikki, why do you think somebody should join AWTC?
Well, it's a nurturing environment, like I just mentioned, where women gather to share and they uplift and support each other. Just by having a conversation with someone new, you can gain a wealth of knowledge. For example, at the AWTC Digital Literacy Conference that I attended, I met someone new, and after telling her the problem I was having with one of our systems, she told me she had the same one a few years ago, and she walked me through how she solved the issue. And that really helped me, sort of come back and make some decisions and talk with our internal staff. And so, AWTC is a place to learn and grow in your career, network. And, this goes back to the advice I was given where, I said you should surround yourself with mentors, peers, allies, who support and advocate for you. And AWTC is that place.
Oh, well, that is great. That's a great note to wrap up our conversation. So I'd like to thank Nikki Beidler for being our featured guest on this edition of AWTC Presents HERstory. If you would like to learn more about AWTC and all of our activities, events, community, awards, and how you can get involved and join, visit our website, awtc.tech. On behalf of AWTC, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in our next episode.